Animals live in a natural environment, whereas man lives in a cultural environment. Thus, the end of culture is the end of humankind. Anonymous. A very good morning, Father Principal, Headmaster Sirs, teachers, and my dear North Pointers. India is the most culturally diverse nation in the world. From language to dressing style, the country has been hailed as one of the most complex amalgamation of various cultural identities. The large number of different cultures knitted together in such close and perfect manner makes India's diversity one of the wonders of the world. However, with the advent of modernization and the Western culture, which has established its strong base in the country, it has already made its presence in the metros and slowly heading towards other parts of India. With this concept of globalization and modernization, our contextual views regarding our culture seems to be slowly entering into a phase of decadence. Dear teachers and students, I would like to present before you Class 10C with their assembly on the topic, Our Cultural Heritage. Thank you.
What is culture? Though we use the term quite often and in various contexts, we use it loosely or ordinarily. Culture actually is connected with the behavior of people, the moral values, and human relations. We denote it by our actions, our behavior, our attitude, all considered useful for the interest of society or of a certain social group. Our culture is a way of life of groups of people, excellence of taste, an integrated pattern of human knowledge, beliefs, and behavior. Culture is the outlook, the attitude, values, moral goals, and customs shaped by a society. Culture is a man's most unique possession which no other living being can possess. Culture is such an important and distinct trait of human beings which separates us from the animals. Therefore, it is correctly said that animals live in a natural environment, whereas human beings live in a cultural environment. However, due to modernization and westernization, we seem to be losing and neglecting the importance and essence of our culture. Our traditions and customs are fading away, and we are adopting newer trends in everything. This should be stopped. We cannot let go of our culture and cultural values. Let us make a firm resolution today to preserve our culture and traditions, because the end of culture is the end of mankind.
Today's global civilization. Globalization has made the world a smaller place. We can, in a few seconds and in our fingertips, know about others' culture and about the world. However, this has led to loss of one's own identity. Culture as an integral part in our lives. Our traditional dress, our mother tongue, or our home cuisine may be the physical embodiment of culture, but its importance lies at one's heart. It gives a person a sense of community and, most importantly, a sense of identity. A society without a culture is like a man without a name. As a nation, cultural heritage can provide us with an automatic sense of unity and belonging with a group, and allows us to better understand our previous generations and the history we come from. In India, we may come from diverse backgrounds, but we share one cause, that is, our belonging to India. Our profession or ambition may form our outer persona, but our culture is responsible performing our soul. Culture is not important just because of its physical importance, but its purpose is to give us an identity.
Our heritage and culture should be a source of pride and inspiration for us all. As we lose our culture, we lose our identity and become like immigrants in our own surroundings. India is an ocean of diverse cultures, customs and traditions. Our country epitomizes how unity in diversity can be maintained and cherished. It's the colors and flavors of these various cultures that make India so special. The two languages that bind and unite our country are Hindi and English. And English education, however, sometimes makes us undermine our very own language. I have Tibetan ancestors, but I can only stammer in my native language, probably because I have learned English but ignored my very own native language. It sometimes saddens me that I know so less about my very own culture. So I have decided to learn more about my culture, and I appeal you to do the same.
We often find that the older people in our society talking about the glorious past and heritage of their times. We should look upon our culture, history and tradition as a source of inspiration. It is often said that a country without history and people without a culture are bound to face an identity crisis. It is sad to see that the youth these days do not really care about their culture and traditions. It is thus up to us to preserve the culture of our community and country. Culture is perhaps the priceless inheritance that we get from our ancestors. Let us all make a resolution to protect and preserve the culture that defines our very being.
The youth of the new millennium is in sync with different cultures from around the world. Unfortunately, we hardly know anything about our own culture. Young Indians are often seen visiting temples wearing jeans and tops and not the traditional attire. They seem more interested in making a fashion statement rather than having their prayers answered. I am not against the learning of new cultures, but I am against replacing our culture to ape another culture. There are changes that are taking place in our society, and we cannot deny that fact. People prefer to dance to the EDM tunes rather than the Bhangra numbers, the very popular ones. As people prefer talking in English, our mother tongue is slowly losing its importance. There may come a time when we might have no mother tongue at all. So before it's too late, let us all come together to preserve the one thing we do not want to lose, our culture.
Why is a culture despairing? The main reason for the decay is perhaps globalization. Globalization is the biggest boon and bane of our generation. The advent of the internet has given a dangerous twist to our cultural inclinations. Everyone is trying to ape the Western culture, but the people from all over the world visit India to admire its diversity. Since we hardly know about our culture, we find nothing to admire and appreciate in it. The more we learn about our culture, I assure all of you, the more all of us will want to cling on to it and preserve it. It is nothing but a negligence that is turning us into apes of the West.
On India's 72nd year of Independence Day, let's put the spotlight on our ancient heritage. Towards this end, the state must recognize the role of media in disseminating and promoting, if not generating, cultural knowledge. Dance moves of the Roma Gypsy from Rajasthan to Spain, stories from the Indian epics Ramayana and Mahabharata on the temples and palaces of Angkor Wat, Cambodia, evidence of Indian painting techniques at the Bamiyan in Afghanistan and Miran and Domko in Central Asia, depicting both the Buddha and Hindu deities like Shiva, Ganesha and Surya. Similarly, the influence of the Western drama and one-act plays on the Indian literature, the imitations of the English sonnet, ode and blank verse by famous Indian poets. The impact of European, Chinese and Southeast paintings in India during the rule of the great Mughal king Akbar. These are just a few examples that connect the cultures of the East and the West.
That are preserving their culture. Tamil Nadu has preserved its culture, heritage, language like no other state. The language is given utmost importance. Temples are seen all over the state. Controversial and traditional sports like Jallikattu is still conducted with much vigor in the state. We have the Hornbill Festival in Nagaland, where the Naga culture is showcased to the world. Most of the states in the Northeast work tirelessly to preserve and promote their culture to stay away from the clutches of westernized.
Cultural heritage and traditions play an important role in the shaping of an individual and society. I think most of us here are very proud of who we are and where we come from. Let us take up this responsibility where we do our best to preserve our culture and respect other cultures. Heritage education needs to be imparted informally at home and school. We need to identify tools to promote the culture and heritage of our community and country. The best way I believe is to do that is to share our knowledge with those around us. Let us all become from this day onward proud as well-informed torch-bearers of our culture and heritage. Now, Class 10C would like to conclude with a short presentation.
मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा सुर की नदियाँ हर दिशा से बह के सागर में मिले बादलों का रूप लेकर बरसे हल्के हल्के मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा चांद तरज कहीं ना तरज बट बनिए शांतरज
तेरा सुर मिले मेरे सुर दे नाल मिलके बने एक नवा सुरताल मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा
मुंहिंजो सुर तुंहिंजे सां प्यारा मिले जॾहिं गीत असांजो मधुर तरानो बने तॾहिं बदलांदा रूप लेके
बरसन हाने
இசைந்தா நம் இருவரு சுரமும் நமகாரும் திசை வேறானாடம் ஆதிசே ஆறுகள் முகிலாய் மசையாய் பொழிவது போலிசை நம் இசை
ನನ್ನ ದನಿಗೆ ನಿನ್ನ ದನಿಯ
ನಮ್ಮ ಧ್ವನಿಯ
నా స్వరము నీ స్వరము സംഗമമൈ മനസ്വരങ്ങളാവതരിഞ്ചേ എന്റെ സ്വരവും നിങ്ങളുടെ സ്വരം ഒത്തുചേർന്നു നമ്മുടെ സ്വരമായി.
সৃষ্টি করো ঐক্য সুর, তোমার সুর মোদের সুর। সৃষ্টি করো ঐক্য সুর, সৃষ্টি হোক ঐক্যতায়। সৃষ্টি করে চলিয়ে চতন,
સૂરજો તારો મારો બને આપણો સુર નિરાળો.
माझ्या तुमच्या जुळता तारा मधुर सुरांच्या बरसती धारा.
बरसे हल्के हल्के हो सुर मेरा तुम्हारा, हो सुर बने हमारा, सुर बने हमारा.
मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा. मिले सुर मेरा तुम्हारा तो सुर बने हमारा, तो सुर बने हमारा, तो सुर बने हमारा, तो सुर बने हमारा. जय हे, जय हे, जय हे, जय 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 हे. जय हिंद.
One of us here, every individual here in this auditorium, all of us have our own cultural heritage. We all come with our own cultural background. But certain people find it, my culture is always the best. Others, nothing. Some, they are willing and open enough to learn from the other cultures. That is what it makes their heritage. The class 10C made us aware India is a single one country. It can't be united with one nation, one language kind of a thing. Because I think it was noted which unites Hindi and English. I think that maybe many people might differ. I'm not making any political statement here. Okay? It is the openness to share from the other cultures, be it language, be it culture of different kinds, that unites all of us in India. Even within a particular state, there are various cultures. The way we do things are completely different from every other person in the same state. That is what gives us the richness. That is what gives us the identity. We are Indians. We may be from Kashmir, we may be from Kanyakumari, no problem. But we all have that unique culture. We share with everybody. That openness, that accommodation to other cultures make us unique. I don't think so we may be able to have one language anytime, because South India has been known for ages. Don't want. But people are open. But that's not the thing. We can't say into everyone in India, this is the thing which unites. No. Everything unites us. In the Jesuit understanding, there's a word called inculturation, where I come in contact with, now I've been in Darjeeling and around Darjeeling from 2001 onwards,
I love. I have no problem. Wherever I have been, every language is different, culture has been different, no problem. The people are good. When you like the people, when you love the people, you accept everything of theirs. It becomes yours. So enculturation is, you take something of good from the others, which helps you to grow, then leave the rest. That is what we need to learn from the others. I'm sure class 10C tried to tell us that we are unique in our own way. Also, we are diverse in every way possible. So we would like to thank Mr. Lekraj and class 10C for your beautiful performance in the class assembly here. Congratulations.